QPR's owners have got a lot of criticism during the pre-season, but in fairness, they have pulled off the improbable feat of getting people to feel sorry for Neil Warnock.
Yes.
Do you feel sorry for Neil Warnock?
I feel sorry for QPR supporters. I think that they've waited a long time to get back into this position, and they're in this ridiculous scenario of knowing how much money is available to the people who own the club, and it must be pretty bewildering and devastating to be getting your season ticket renewals with a gargantuan price increase when the owners don't appear particularly willing to spend money on the team. And this is a team that does need some restructuring. It's a championship team, really, was equipped in that division, but when you look at it in terms of Premiership experience, there's a lot of players there, the likes of Paddy Kenny, Sean Derry, who had fantastic seasons last year in the Championship. But, when it comes to being established Premier League performers who are equipped to really star at the top level, it's not something that a lot of the squads seem to have in their locker. They're bringing in the likes of Danny Gabidon, they've got Tommy Smith, Fitz Hall. It's the kind of guys that have been around for a very long time, and they know their way around football very well. But when it comes to an away game at Stamford Bridge or Anfield, you do worry slightly for them.
Yeah. They also, of course, have Adel Taarabt, who's their main man. Harry Redknapp was asked towards the end of last season whether he thinks Taarabt will have a big impact on the Premier League, and he said possibly because he has a vested interest in Taarabt not being particularly sensational, because he sold him for a relatively cheap price. But he said he expects Taarabt to start off on fire and be Player of the Month for the first month and then just sort of fade away.
Well, I mean, he was clearly the best player in the Championship last season, and he has got the quality that QPR are going to need quite dearly. But they've got a few players who technically were quite nice to watch last season in the Championship, like Buzaki and Forlan, who was, of course, the player that got them into all the bother about the legality of his purchase in the first place. But the trouble is they come into it with no Premier League experience, and again, it's really the unknown, because we don't know whether they're going to take to it and feel that they can express themselves in much more demanding circumstances, or whether it's just going to be a bit too tough for them. Neil Warnock is experienced enough to know what is required in the Premier League, but there is a feeling that if things aren't going terribly well, that Eccleston and Briatore will want to bring in somebody. They've been banging on whispers about bringing in Lippi for quite some time, so that's a bit of a pipe dream, it would seem. But I think the pressure is on Warnock that if things are going not very well, I don't think they're going to stick with him in the same way that Blackpool did with Holloway, for example.
Right. So it's very difficult to make a prediction about a team then in that circumstance, but make a prediction.
I think without the funds being invested in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a hard slog. One thing you can be pretty sure of is that with the combination of Warnock, Briatore and Eccleston, Loftus Road will probably be seen of the comedy of the season.